I remember the day my great-granddaughter Sarah visited me at my practice. She was only 6 years old, with those big, curious eyes children have. As I was examining a patient in their 70s, Sarah tugged on my white coat and whispered a bit, too loudly. "Great-grandpa, why do you help old people? They're just going to die soon anyway." The room fell silent. My patient, a wonderful woman named Eleanor who had been seeing me for decades, looked startled, then burst into laughter. But behind that laughter, I saw something in Eleanor's eyes, a question, a worry. "Is that true, doctor? Am I just running out the clock?" That moment has stayed with me for years, because maybe you've wondered the same thing. Maybe you've felt that shadow of doubt when you look in the mirror. Maybe your own grandchild has said something innocent that cut deep, or you've noticed how people at the grocery store don't make eye contact anymore. As if aging means becoming invisible. What if I told you that wasn't necessary? What if I told you there's still time, not just for a few more years, but potentially decades of vibrant living? I'm Dr. William Harrison. I've been practicing medicine for 67 years now, and at 91 I still see patients 3 days a week. Not because I need the money, goodness knows my wife would prefer I join her for more gardening, but because I've discovered something too important not to share. You see, I've watched medicine change dramatically over these decades. I've seen the rise of pharmaceuticals, the wonders of modern surgery, and the technological marvels we now take for granted. But I've also witnessed something the fancy medical journals don't talk about much: how some of my patients consistently outlive their prognoses by decades, while others with similar conditions fade away far too soon. 20 years ago, I started documenting the differences. What made some seniors thrive while others declined? The answer wasn't genetics or even access to healthcare. It was something much simpler and something completely within your control. Let me ask you, have you noticed your energy isn't what it used to be? That recovery from even minor exertion takes longer? Perhaps you've been told it's just age when you mention joint pain, digestion troubles, or that mental fog that seems to roll in more frequently. I see this every day in my practice, like my patient Robert, who at 82 couldn't play with his great-grandchildren because bending down meant he couldn't get back up. Or Maria, who at 75 started declining dinner invitations because she was embarrassed about having to ask people to repeat themselves constantly. Or William, not me, another William, who at 68 was already talking about his life in the past, tense as if the best parts were behind him. These aren't just inconveniences. These are the small indignities that chip away at your sense of self, your independence, and your joy. I've sat with thousands of seniors as they confessed their deepest fears, becoming a burden, losing their autonomy, being remembered as frail rather than vibrant. But here's what medicine has gotten wrong for decades, and what I need you to understand right now. Rapid aging is not inevitable. The decline you're experiencing isn't simply what happens when you reach a certain age. What you're experiencing is cellular starvation. Let me explain this in simple terms. Every cell in your body requires specific nutrients to repair itself, generate energy, and function properly. When we're young, our bodies are remarkably efficient at extracting these nutrients from food and delivering them to our cells. But after 63 critical changes happen that medicine rarely discusses. First, your digestive enzymes decrease by approximately 38%, meaning even when you eat nutritious foods, you're absorbing significantly less of their beneficial compounds. Second, your body's methylation processes, fancy term for how your body repairs DNA, slow down dramatically, meaning cellular damage accumulates faster than it can be fixed. And third, inflammation becomes your body's default state rather than its emergency response system, essentially putting your immune system in a constant state of exhaustion. These three factors create a perfect storm of malnutrition at the cellular level. Your cells are quite literally starving, even if your plate is full. And starving cells can't maintain the body functions you've taken for granted your whole life. But here's the truth that changed everything for me and hundreds of my patients. This process can be reversed, not just slowed, actually reversed. I discovered this by accident while reviewing blood work from my longest living patients. What I found was astonishing. The patients who had consistently maintained youthful levels of cellular function all shared specific dietary patterns, regardless of their genetic backgrounds or medical histories. What I'm about to share with you isn't a miracle drug or expensive treatment. It's a simple protocol centered around 5 specific foods that directly address cellular starvation. These foods contain unique compounds that can reactivate your body's nutrient absorption, boost methylation, and dramatically reduce inflammation. I've spent the last 2 decades refining and testing this protocol. The results have been nothing short of remarkable. Patients who follow it consistently report significant improvements in energy within just 7 days. Within a month, many find their joint pain diminishes substantially. And after 90 days, we regularly see measurable improvements in cognitive function, immune response, and even markers that conventional medicine associates with biological age. I'm not talking about adding a year or 2 to your life. I'm talking about the potential for decades of quality living, like my patient Margaret, who started this protocol at 73 and just celebrated her 103rd birthday by taking her great-grandchildren camping. Or James, who at 88 decided to go back to college and now at 97 teaches literature at a community center. Before I share these 5 foods and precisely how to incorporate them into your daily routine, I want to be absolutely clear. This isn't about fad diets or trendy superfoods. The foods I'm going to recommend are affordable, available at any grocery store, and can be prepared even if cooking has become difficult for you. The first life-extending food is something you might already have in your kitchen: fermented cabbage, or what many know as sauerkraut. Now, not all sauerkraut is created equal. The kind that comes in shelf-stable jars or cans has been pasteurized, which kills off the beneficial bacteria. What you need is raw, refrigerated sauerkraut that contains live cultures. You'll find it in the refrigerated section of your grocery store, usually near the pickles or health food sections. Why is this simple food so powerful? Fermented cabbage contains a unique combination of elements that directly combat cellular starvation. First, it's rich in spermidine, a compound with a funny name but serious benefits. Spermidine triggers a process called autophagy, which is essentially your cell's self-cleaning mechanism. As we age, this process becomes sluggish, allowing damaged cellular components to accumulate. Spermidine jumpstarts autophagy, helping your cells clear out the debris and function more efficiently. Second, the probiotic bacteria in raw sauerkraut help restore your digestive enzymes, dramatically improving nutrient absorption from everything else you eat. It's like hiring a team of microscopic helpers to extract every bit of nutrition from your food. And third, fermented cabbage contains unique anti-inflammatory compounds that help calm the chronic inflammation that accelerates aging. How much do you need? Just 2 tablespoons daily, preferably before your largest meal of the day. If you find the taste too strong, here's a little trick I suggest to my patients. Mix it with a small amount of applesauce or grated apple. The sweetness balances the sourness perfectly. For those of you who struggle with arthritis in your hands, making opening jars difficult, try this elder hack. Keep a rubber grip pad in your kitchen drawer. It provides the perfect amount of traction to open those stubborn jars without straining your joints. The second rejuvenating food is sardines, but stay with me. I know many people turn their nose up at these little fish, but they're one of the most potent anti-aging foods on the planet. Sardines contain the highest concentration of bioavailable omega-3 fatty acids of any food source. These fatty acids are crucial for brain health, helping to maintain the myelin sheaths that insulate your neural pathways. Think of it as keeping the insulation on your body's electrical wiring in pristine condition. What makes sardines superior to fish oil supplements is that they also contain selenium, calcium, and vitamin D in forms your aging body can actually absorb. This combination directly supports your thyroid function, which often declines with age, leading to fatigue, weight gain, and mental fog. You only need to consume sardines twice a week. The easiest way is to buy them canned in olive oil, not soybean oil. Drain off most of the oil and mash them with a fork. Add a squeeze of lemon juice and a sprinkle of your favorite herbs. Spread this on whole grain crackers or toast. If you simply cannot tolerate the taste of sardines, there is an alternative: Smoked oysters. They provide many of the same benefits, though you'll need to eat them 3 times a week instead of twice. A helpful tip for my patients who live alone: divide the can into portions and refrigerate what you don't eat immediately. A small silicone lid that stretches over the can makes this easy and eliminates food waste. The third longevity-enhancing food is purple sweet potatoes. Not the orange ones you're familiar with, specifically purple sweet potatoes, which have a deep purple flesh. These remarkable tubers contain compounds called anthocyanins that have been shown to activate the FOXO3 gene, what scientists now call the longevity gene. In a study of centenarians, people who live past 100, researchers found that almost all had naturally active FOXO3 genes. Purple sweet potatoes can help activate this gene even if you weren't born with a naturally efficient version. Additionally, purple sweet potatoes are rich in resistant starch, a type of fiber that feeds your beneficial gut bacteria and improves insulin sensitivity. This is crucial because insulin resistance increases dramatically as we age, leading to everything from weight gain to cognitive decline. You only need a half cup serving twice a week. The simplest preparation is to wash the potato, prick it several times with a fork and microwave it for about 5 minutes. Time varies by size. Once it's cool enough to handle, the skin peels off easily, and you can mash the purple flesh with a little olive oil and a pinch of salt. For those with dentures or dental concerns, you can puree it completely with a little broth for a smoother texture. And here's a tip for my patients with arthritis: use a potato scrubbing glove instead of a brush. It's easier on the joints and gets the job done just as well. The fourth vitality-boosting food is one you might not expect: chicken liver. Now, before you skip ahead, hear me out. Liver has gotten an undeserved bad reputation, but it's what I call a cellular battery charger. Chicken liver contains the highest bioavailable form of choline, a nutrient essential for brain function and cellular membrane integrity. After age 70, your body's ability to produce choline internally decreases by almost 60%, leading to accelerated brain aging. Liver is also nature's richest source of easily absorbed iron, B12, and folate, nutrients, directly involved in energy production at the cellular level. Many of my patients who complained of fatigue for years found their energy returning after adding small amounts of liver to their diet. You only need a very small amount, just 1 ounce, about the size of your thumb, once a week. The easiest preparation is to sauté it with lots of onions, which masks the taste almost completely. For those who simply cannot tolerate the idea of liver, there is an alternative: nutritional yeast fortified with B12. While not as powerful as liver, 2 tablespoons sprinkled on food 3 times a week provides many of the same benefits. For my patients who struggle with food preparation, I suggest this: when you do cook liver, cook extra and freeze small portions. Frozen liver can be thawed and added to soups or stews, where the taste is further disguised. The fifth and final longevity food is fermented black garlic. This isn't the regular garlic you're used to cooking with. Black garlic has been fermented through a specific process that turns the cloves black, soft, and sweet, almost like a savory candy. This fermentation process creates compounds called xalylcysteine and xalylmercaptocystine, which have been shown to have remarkable effects on cardiovascular health. These compounds help maintain the elasticity of your blood vessels and improve circulation to your extremities and brain. Just as importantly, black garlic contains unique antioxidants that help protect your mitochondria, the power plants inside each of your cells. As we age, mitochondrial function declines rapidly, leading to decreased energy at the cellular level. Black garlic helps preserve these vital cellular components. You need just half a clove daily. The simplest way to consume it is to mash it and spread it on toast or crackers. Many of my patients enjoy it on avocado toast, where the creamy texture of the avocado complements the soft black garlic perfectly. Black garlic can be found in health food stores, Asian markets, or online. And unlike regular garlic, it has no strong odor and won't cause garlic breath. For those who have trouble finding black garlic, you can make it at home using a rice cooker. Simply place whole heads of garlic in the rice cooker on the keep warm setting, not cook, and leave them for 14 days. The result is perfect black garlic at a fraction of the cost. Now let me tell you about Helen. Helen came to me when she was 78, essentially to say goodbye. She'd been diagnosed with congestive heart failure and told she might have a year left, with luck. Her skin had a grayish cast. She could barely walk from my waiting room to the examination room without stopping to catch her breath. And she told me her greatest sadness was that she wouldn't live to see her granddaughter's wedding, scheduled for 18 months later. I started Helen on this 5-food protocol immediately. The first 2 weeks she noticed no change except that her digestion seemed a bit better. By the end of the first month, the color had returned to her face and she reported sleeping through the night for the first time in years. After 3 months, her cardiologist was shocked to find significant improvements in her heart function. And 14 months after starting the protocol, Helen not only attended her granddaughter's wedding, she danced at the reception. Today, Helen is 92. She walks 2 miles every morning, volunteers at her local library, and recently started teaching her great-granddaughter to knit. Her doctors call her their miracle patient. I call her living proof of what these 5 simple foods can do. Then there's Thomas. At 83, Thomas had resigned himself to life in an assisted living facility. His adult children were concerned about his increasing confusion, frequent falls, and inability to manage his medication. The facility was nice enough, but Thomas hated the loss of independence. His daughter brought him to see me as a last resort before making the move permanent. I started Thomas on the 5-food protocol, adjusting it slightly to accommodate his diabetes. Within 3 weeks, the staff at the facility noticed he was more alert during activities. After 2 months, his cognition tests showed measurable improvement. And after 6 months, Thomas moved back to his own home with just a part-time home health aide visiting twice a week. Thomas is now 89 and lives entirely independently. He recently took a computer class at his senior center and now emails his grandchildren daily. I was ready to give up, he told me at his last checkup. Now I'm planning my 90th birthday trip to the Grand Canyon. And finally, there's my own story. I started following this protocol when I developed it 20 years ago, at age 71. At that time, I was considering retirement. My joints ached after a full day of seeing patients. I found myself forgetting details of medical histories I'd previously recalled with ease, and my enthusiasm for medicine was waning. 6 months after beginning the protocol, I noticed I was leaving the office with energy to spare. My mental sharpness returned, not just to where it had been a few years before, but to a clarity I hadn't experienced since my 40s. Today, at 91, I still practice medicine 3 days a week. I travel internationally with my wife twice a year. I play chess weekly with a group of youngsters in their 60s and 70s, and I usually win. And last year, I learned to play the cello, something I'd always wanted to do, but never found the time for. This isn't about simply adding years to your life. It's about adding life to your years. It's about waking up with purpose and energy. It's about maintaining your independence, your dignity, and your joy. I want you to try this 5-food protocol for just 7 days. That's all I ask. 1 week of your life. Add these 5 foods exactly as I've described. Don't change anything else about your routine. After those 7 days, take a moment to notice how you feel. Are you sleeping more soundly? Do you have more energy in the afternoons? Is your thinking a bit clearer? Then continue for a full 30 days. By this point, others will begin to notice the change in you. Your children might remark on your improved memory or energy. Your friends might ask if you've done something different, lost weight, changed your hairstyle, started a new vitamin. What they're actually seeing is your cells coming back to life. Your body beginning to function as it did years, even decades ago. It's never too late to reclaim your vitality. I've seen patients well into their 90s experience remarkable transformations. The human body has an astounding capacity for renewal when given exactly what it needs. You have so much living left to do, so many moments to experience, wisdom to share, joy to give and receive. Whether you're 65, 75, 85 or beyond, this is not the end of your story. With these 5 simple foods, it can be the beginning of your most vibrant chapter yet. Try it for 7 days. Notice the change. Your family, we'll see it. But more importantly, you'll feel it. And if this information has helped you, please consider sharing this video with someone else who needs to hear it. There are so many of us being told that decline is inevitable, that the best we can hope for is to manage our deterioration with dignity. They deserve to know there's another way. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Until next time, this is Dr. William Harrison, wishing you health, vitality, and many, many more years to enjoy them both.